for last but definitely not least, we have here Jeff Bass. Jeff is our instructor with the senior remote cohort. So Jeff, why don't you tell us a little bit what Full Stack Remote has been, the experience, and what we're looking to forward in these projects?
Sure. Thanks, David. Yeah, the remote experience has been fantastic. I've had the privilege of working with a small but amazing group of students for the last 3 months. They're from all over the country. I think all 4 time zones in the continental United States are represented here, a pretty wide geographic diversity, and they've put together some amazing projects. And I think that the remote experience, I'm really continually impressed by what I see from these students. I mean, they do have a short commute, of course, but their focus and their drive and commitment, despite all the potential distractions of working from home, is really just it never ceases to impress me. So I'm really excited to show off some of the work that they've been doing for the last few weeks. So our first project, I guess I'll just jump right into that. So this first team built an application that I think has the potential to come to know you even better than you know yourself. That's
always promising.
So I think if you are still a doubter out there that computers could potentially understand emotions, if you don't think that that's possible, this app might make you rethink that. So let's hear from the team behind SentiMentum.
All right, thanks. Let's see. All right, hello everyone. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Andrew Basor, and I'm joined by Jamie Yu, Alan Campbell, and Kim Winston Jackson. Together, we're Team AJAC, and we've created SentiMentum, a journaling dashboard application that leverages sentiment analysis. So journaling has scientifically proven stress-reducing, goal-orienting benefits when done regularly. It can also be therapeutic for individuals in high-stress jobs such as nursing, and can even help to curb depression. Our personal experience at a coding bootcamp has been quite stressful at times, and this is what motivated us to make an application that could be used for self-reflection, since as Aristotle once said, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. However, sentiment analysis as a human process is slow. It takes time to figure out how we feel. SentiMentum solves this problem by making sentiment analysis fast, accessible, and open to a variety of inputs. With that said, I'll be turning you over to Kim to tell you more details.
Thanks, Andrew. This is Emmett. We're going to follow Emmett using SentiMentum to explore his emotions. After being greeted by our landing page, Emmett can create an account or log in using a social media account. Then he can go to the journal and start writing about his day. If he gets tired of typing, Emmett can click on the microphone and start speaking instead. When finished, he can simply click on the microphone again to turn it off and get back to typing. He can then click through the carousel below to see our sentiment analysis of his writing. Our application can also analyze Emmett's tweets. Beyond self-introspection, Emmett can also use SentiMentum to analyze the emotions of other users on Twitter. For example, Emmett can conduct a side-by-side comparison between a person's Twitter feed and what the Twitterverse at large feels about that person at that particular moment. Now, I'll turn it over to Jamie.
Thank you, Kim. In addition to analyzing Emmett's journal entries and tweets, our application can also analyze Emmett's favorite movies or songs to give further insight into the type of media he is consuming. SentiMentum is built using React, Redux, and modular charting libraries like Recharts. To enable speech-to-text transcription, we utilize Google's Web Speech API. We also used web scraping technologies to mine Twitter feeds, song lyrics, and movie scripts. We used a combination of Node, Express, and Postgres to persist users' journal entries to the database. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about the data flow of the journal. Every time a change is made to the text is dispatched to the Redux store as a state. This transcript state goes through our sentiment analysis utility function and outputs a sentiment object that holds all the emotional data. This object can then be analyzed through machine learning before it is stored to our database, which simultaneously renders the sentiment analysis in our charts. Now I'll turn it over to Alan, who will talk a little bit more about the machine learning feature on our application.
Thanks, Jamie. We thought it would be useful to introduce a feature that used machine learning to model the dynamic and subjective nature of language interpretation. So we empowered the user with the ability to assign specific emotions to any sentence within saved journal entries. Their classification is then sent to our database and is immediately fetched from the Redux store via on-enter hooks and relevant components for all other users. This data is used to train our application using an implementation of the naive Bayes classification algorithm. Our app can now classify text in real time, and the results are based on input sourced from all our users as a whole and become more accurate over time. This project was a lot of fun to work on and presented some unique challenges. In the process, we gained invaluable technical and soft skills. We encourage you to check out our project at SentiMentum.info. Thank you very much for your time.
Great job, guys. The art of diary writing, it has been stuck back in the old ages for way too long. I think this is a great way to use some machine learning, data analysis to really make it a richer experience for yourself, and also if you're writing things for the public, like blog posts. So I really like it. Love the use of all kinds of really interesting APIs.
Yeah, and the one thing I like about it is that I oftentimes, a lot of student projects I see, it's like, take this and pump it through this API. I like that this team just built that themselves because it's a good learning experience, right? And oftentimes a lot of data creates interesting insights more than just pumping a little bit of data through something else that's like kind of more opaque. So I always like when students just say, you know what, we may roll up our sleeves, get our hands dirty, and just do it ourselves.
Yeah, I think they put together a really cool application here. And I was playing around with the application a couple days ago, and I decided to punch the term Full Stack Academy into their Twitter analysis portion. And the three emotions that came back that dominated all the others were anticipation, joy, and trust. So I think that's a pretty good indication that it's working well.